All right. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out some audio things. One second. Alright. Hopefully you can now hear the music a bit better. Well, I'm doing good, Sleeping Silly. Alright, so as the stream title says, I will be painting some plasma for my Dark Angels Interrupters. I did some pre-work on them. I just primed the area with Corax White. Nothing too crazy. And now I'm going to be doing a little bit of airbrushing and a little bit of brush work here to get the effect to really pop. So the thing I'm going to be using today, I thought I had it at my desk, but I don't. All right. So this is acrylic ink, specifically white acrylic ink, and this is really nice for doing glowing effects because it's both it both flows really well and it's also pretty transparent. So when you put it through the airbrush, you get like a little white cloud that is quite transparent, so you can still see the colors underneath, and it makes a really nice glowing effect. But also you can put it much like a wash, and it'll slide into the recesses, and you can make some really cool glowing stuff. So that's what I'm going to be using today, mostly. And then on the theme of transparent paints, I'll be using contrast paints to filter the color, so it's not white, it's instead blue. And I think I'll be using, these look really similar, but I think I'm going to be using the Talazar blue. Yeah, because I think it's slightly lighter. I really wish I had like a glacial blue. Maybe I can make a glacial blue out of like this color. And some contrast medium. We'll see, we'll test it. See which one looks better. They do. I just don't have it for some reason. Probably because I haven't really had, need of it. I think the Talazar blue should work, especially since I'm, yeah, aka I need to go buy more paint. Yeah. But yeah, since I'm putting the paint over white, it should brighten up considerably. Anyway, I'm not sure I'll need a lighter blue, but we'll see. That's the thing about contrast paints, is that because they're so transparent. Yeah, the beauty of layering paint. Yeah, because the paint is so transparent, it's highly dependent on what the color is underneath. Oops. Oh, nuts. Alright, so as you can see, because it's so liquidy, if you make mistakes, you can kind of just soak it up with a paintbrush. And yeah, all I have to do is bring my brush in and touch it to the model, and the paint just kind of runs along the edge into the crevices, and then I can come back in with a clean paintbrush and like it'll soak up the excess, and what it leaves you with is a nice effect of a brighter white in between all the coils to make it look like it's glowing from the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the back as well. You just lightly drag your brush over the edge, and it just naturally goes into all the crevices. Hold on a sec, I'm gonna go get my water real quick. Also forgot to bring that over. Okay. Gotta stay hydrated. Need to mix up some more because, of course, I didn't make enough. That's okay. And I might need to do a couple layers of this because it's transparent and, well, the ink is transparent already and I'm diluting it. So, you know, it's even more transparent. That's okay. It's better to have to do multiple layers than to have it be too bright and you need to knock it back. Actually, I think these ones here need a bit more. Alright. Now I'm going to get on to using the airbrush, and I'm going to try and mask off some areas. We'll see how that goes. But the goal is to only airbrush the gun and not the whole Space Marine. So I have this stuff, AK Camouflage Plastic Putty. It works really well for masking things off without pulling off paint. Hashtag not a sponsor. But it's just kind of like silly putty, essentially. And we're just gonna try and make it as thin as possible, and then slip it in between the gun and the Space Marine. Thing is, I kind of need access to the back. I think I'm gonna start with masking off the bottom of all the Space Marines, and then see where it goes from there. Because some on the hand, good. The hand is very close to the coils. Some on the case of the gun, good. It's also very close to the coils. Don't want any on the legs. Don't want any on the... Don't really want any on the chest. Or the head. Some on the forearm though. That would probably be good. See, this one's easier, where he's just holding the gun up in the air. They should all do that. Just to make my life easier. While airbrushing. Why don't I paint the guns before putting them on? That's something I could do. But subassembly is sometimes just a lot more pain than it's worth. In this case, it probably would have been worth it, but I was just feeling kind of lazy, so when I was building them. So here we are, having to mask off parts of the models. And, you know, painting in subassembly is extra work. So it's like, is the extra work from doing subassembly, you know, less than the extra work from masking off parts of the models? Like, maybe. But it kind of depends, so. Maybe I'll just have to buy another unit and try it in subassembly, and then, you know, just for science, of course. Alright, this guy. Yeah, I'll just. And like I said, this putty stuff is really easy to work with, so I don't really have much of a problem masking stuff off. Generally works pretty well. All right, so I got things masked off, at least to the point where I'll be okay, probably. Now we're gonna get to airbrushing. Yeah. I think I need to, you know, my airbrush a little bit. That should be good. Now, I always dilute things, and you can just use like Lamy medium or really whatever medium you want. There's not really a specific one that I use, but I generally either use the Lamy medium or the contrast medium, because those work well for me. And because the white ink is already pretty diluted, don't really need to worry a whole lot about it. But you do have to be very careful when airbrushing. Because it's so thin, you can very easily get a spider web effect, and I'll kind of show you. So do you see how it is kind of hard to see? Let me see if I can get something better here to show you what I'm talking about. So if you aren't careful, you see how the air pressure from the airbrush pushes the paint after it's already on the model, and you get this like splaying effect. Yeah, it kind of looks like fireworks. It's called spider webbing. I think that's the technical term. So it's very important to be very light with the amount that you put down, so that you don't do that. And this is part demonstration, part practice, before I go on to the model, so that I don't mess it up. So you can see when done correctly, you get this really nice like light cloud, but when done incorrectly, you like ruin the model. You don't ruin the model. You can probably save it. Sometimes you can come in with a wet brush and like soak up the paint, but you have to move pretty quickly. Otherwise, you kind of just have to repaint the area that you messed up. But it is kind of a pain if you mess up, so hence why I'm doing a bit of practice. All right. See if I can get this. I'll actually lower the air pressure a little bit as well. All right. Okay, So this is kind of the effect I'm going for. You can see that it's just slightly brighter around the coils on both sides. And once I'm done, with the white, I'm gonna come in with the blue and just tint it a little bit. Focus up. Nice. Yeah, do you ever forget? Yeah. And I did it, I messed up a few times actually while I was doing it. And sometimes it ends up being okay. Like, you didn't do it enough to where it impacts the look on the model. And so you can kind of get away with it, but yeah, I'm not that good with an airbrush yet, so. All right. I think that should be good for the white. Now I want to come in with the blue. And this is where it should start to look pretty cool. Yeah. I think this blue should work out well, actually. So, I don't think I'll have to mix up any other paint. Let's see how it looks over the white that we airbrushed earlier. Yeah, it looks like a nice light blue. I got some white over here too. Yeah, that looks like a really nice light blue. Cool. Alright, and that's looking pretty good. I think I might do one more thing to it before calling it done. I think I mixed up one of the steps, which is fine. I also think a bigger issue is that there wasn't enough contrast between the white ink and the Corax white that I used to base coat. So I'm gonna go back in with the white ink and do the first step over again, where I place the white ink in with a brush so that it fills in between the coils, and then I'll come back in with the blue. So in between the coils at the bottom will be brighter than the rest of the gun. I am going to wait a little bit though, just so that the contrast paint has a chance to set a little bit. Because I don't want to pull up any of the blue and tear the layer underneath. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna, while I'm waiting for that to set, I think I'm gonna pull out some more of the Dark Angels. So these are the Inner Circle Knights for the Horus Heresy game. And as you can see, I started painting them, and we'll just see if we can get some more work done. Hey G-Wiz, how's it going? Great. Did you did you resolve your airbrush issues? I know that was a couple weeks ago. Yay! You got it fixed! That's awesome. Yeah, I've been replaced the nozzle, needle, and clean the heck out of it. Yeah, that's a good way to fix it. So yeah, today I've been working on the plasma glow for my Dark Angels plasma squad, and I'm waiting for that to set a little bit, so I'm painting some Inner Circle Knights. Yeah, I don't know if you have these already, but they're like pipe cleaners that you can find on like Amazon, and as you can see by the ones that are bent out of shape, I use these all the time. They're quite good about getting stuff out of the airbrush. Little dental brushes work great too. That's good to know. I'll have to try those out. Let's see here. For the Horus Heresy Dark Angels, there's a lot of like bare metal on the models, and so I think I'm gonna try and do something like an interesting effect with the metal. Recently, the Warhammer TV people put out a masterclass on doing like aged antique metal, where they glazed in like brown and purple into the silver, and I think I want to try and do that because it looked really cool. It was a nice effect, and I think for these inner circle knights, they deserve a little bit of extra effort. Instead of just slapping like Nuln Oil on them, which is what I normally do. Yeah, it did look pretty cool. I really enjoy the masterclass videos that they put on Warhammer TV. They show off some really cool effects. Sounds good, G-Wiz. Thanks for hanging out. So this thing that I'm painting now is also a plasma weapon. So I'll be doing a similar effect on this. It's pretty cool. It's actually just it's like a plasma flamethrower gauntlet. Specifically designed for these Inner Circle Knights, so that they can use these giant two-handed swords and have a plasma flamethrower. Because as you can see, it leaves the hand open. Although it seems like they can wield the two-handed swords just fine in one hand. So not sure that they need it, but that's what it's for. I'm looking for a color, and I don't see it. Found it. So there's also some brass on the Mini, and so I'm going to be using this Rune Lord brass. I really like this color. It is quite nice. It's especially good for just, you know, tacking on something other than just silver. Since that's generally the go-to. Gold is another one, but it can also be kind of boring if you put, you know, so much gold on a model. So yeah, just mix the two and get brass. Much more interesting. All right, I think at this point the blue that on the plasma that we did should be set enough that I shouldn't tear any layers. So I'm going to come back in with the white ink and see if I can put some more contrast. At the bottom here. I probably should have done a probably should have done a gloss varnish before doing this, but I think it's okay. And we're going to mix up some of that blue and glaze it over, especially the parts, around the edges that I may have gotten a little bit of extra white on. Now we can go away and now we can go ahead and peel away the putty. And I think I'm gonna call it done for that plasma. So you can see we made like a bright glowing effect towards the center of the coils. Did a little bit of, you know, overspray with the airbrush to get a glowing effect around the coils. Yeah, so glowy. Yeah, I really like this kind of process. I was gonna say technique, but it's not really a technique. It's just like a process. Yeah. It gets a really nice glow effect for, at least in my opinion, not a whole lot of work. You know, there are much more intensive processes. One thing with the putty is you got to make sure you get it all off. Sometimes if there's a lot of texture, it likes to, like little strands like to stick around. But generally it's pretty good. And the little strands that stick around, you just got to take a bigger piece of the putty and like dab them up. They come off really easily. All right, and with that, I think I have the plasma done for all of my interrupters. Of course, I could, I could, I could sit here and fiddle with it all day. So I'm gonna call it done. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. Hey Ember. Yes, plasma. You can't have Dark Angel without plasma. Hey Ryan, how's it going? Have you seen the updates for the 10th edition rules? Yeah, this guy. Just the end of painting the plasma. I still got a little bit more time left in the stream. You haven't kept up much. So they did a big data slate change. Yeah, Tyranid players are really happy. I don't fully understand like all the Tyranid changes, but apparently they got a whole bunch of buffs that make it like more fun to play Tyranids. So I was wondering if you had seen the changes. But yeah, I heard some weapons got some extra strength, which is I know something that Tyranids were lacking. The high strength weapons. And then they got some updates to how their battle shock works, to make it easier for them to, use their army rules. So overall, it seems like a lot of people are really happy about the changes. Tyranids are going to be back to terrorizing the tabletop. Yeah, that's what that's what a lot of people are pretty happy about. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Like the only viable way to play the army was to bring a bunch of biovores. You're like, come on, Games Workshop, like, give me a little something. Which faction is least popular? I want to say Harlequins. I don't have any, like, I don't have any data to back that up. Just from, you know, what I've seen and what I've played against. I think Harlequins are less popular. And I don't know I don't think that's because people don't like Harlequins. I think they're just a very specific army. And with 10th edition, they're no longer their own separate army. They got folded into Eldar. I think you just have to run like a all Harlequin detachment kind of thing. Although with all the nerfs to like the main Eldar units, Harlequins might go up in stock. They did a whole bunch of nerfs to the indirect weapons that Eldar use, like the Dark Reapers and the Fire Prisms. I know that's been meta for a while. Is just to bring minimum 3 Fire Prisms and just laser things off the board. So maybe now that that's been nerfed, we'll see more Harlequins and more Yunari. But I know Harlequins were very strong at the end of 9th, so that they might actually be more popular than I've seen. Like more people might have the armies just like sitting at that they haven't played for a bit. So yeah, these guys also have some plasma gauntlets that I'll be painting. So I'm just prepping them with some Corax white. One thing you might want to look at, Mr. DeLoyal, is I believe Games Workshop collects metadata on all the tournaments that they run. And I believe one of the stats that they collect is popularity of each faction. So how many of each army gets played. I don't know if they differentiate between Harlequins and Eldar, since they folded the factions in together. But that might be something to look at. And it might be something to look at, especially if you look at the 9th edition data, because they were separate at that point, and it should at least give you a good idea of, you know, how many people collected Harlequins in 9th. Sheesh, I'm almost out of gold here. I think I have an extra, because I've been running out for a while. This might be the last of it. Yeah, I know. I've been using too much gold lately. uh, I gotta go back to painting my trees. There's much less gold on trees. Sadly, there is actually quite a bit of gold on the dinos. For some reason, the dinosaurs have all the jewelry, and it's all gold. Yeah, I mean, it's not actually a problem. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I have an extra, what's it called? Bottle. Except not actually. Pot. That's what they are. They're paint pots. I have an extra paint pot of gold. I'm pretty sure. So I'll just have to dig it out of the closet. Yeah, and especially with the new edition of Age of Sigmar that's coming out, I'm gonna have to get my trees ready. Especially in this new edition. Apparently, the big centerpiece models are gonna be quite strong. So I might be able to get a L'Oreal, the Ever Queen, onto the table. I'll just have to finish painting her, which will be really cool. And of course, we have to add in some checkers because Dark Angels. So let's see if I can put some small checkers on this shield here. Yeah, they are. It is quite hard. Luckily, my paint brushes have quite a nice tip, which makes it easier. But they're still super small. Hence why I'm bringing it quite close to my face. I think I really need to get some of those, like, magnifying glasses. Something like that, maybe? I think the top row looks a little weird. Maybe I need to, like... I think they're too long. Something like that, maybe. Or too tall. Hey Geese, how's it going? Isn't tiny checkers how you do NMM? A little bit. It is kind of a checkered effect sometimes, but it is a bit different because in non-metallic metal, you want to blend it as smooth as possible, whereas this you want them to be very distinct and harsh transitions between the colors. Yeah, more. I mean, this I'm not doing any blending, but yeah, non-metallic metal is a lot more blending than this. Played your first Data Slate game today? Cool. How was it? We were actually just talking about the Data Slate earlier. Um, what army are you playing? And was your army affected by the Data Slate? AdMech going into CSM? Ooh. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. I know AdMech AdMech was the most affected, and it's kind of strong. Sheesh. Yeah, I saw they got a bunch of really good changes, especially to their God, what are they called? What's their main army rule? Imperatives, I think they're called, right? Doctrinas. There we go. Yeah, how did those changes go? I saw the changes to the ballistic skill, and um, I've heard those are really good, especially because +1 to ballistic skill and +1 to hit stack. Um, and if you hold still, you get 2 plus. Sheesh. Sounds good. I also heard they upped the points on a lot of things, which I think people were happy about because AdMech was becoming a horde army. Um, how was your army affected by the increased points? Nice. It's always nice when when all your shooting just becomes a lot more effective. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. You said it wasn't even close. Was did they just have like a bad list, or did the update really make your army that much stronger? Gotcha. I also know that the Chaos Space Marines got a bit of a nerf, so sounds like the nerf worked. She just wiped them off the board. Nice. I'm glad AdMac got some love because it's been a while since they've had their since they've been really strong. We'll have to see how AdMech fares into some of the tankier armies. Like I know both Dark Angels and Custodes got buffs as well. Especially though since they can both be hard hitting melee armies. We'll have to see if they can stand up to that kind of tankiness. Got mandrakes for a kill team today. Nice. Yeah, mandrakes are cool, and especially the new kill team models that they made look really cool. So that's exciting. Especially since I'm pretty sure the old Mandrake models are like really old. Yeah. It kind of just depends on if your shooting can really get through the armor. Yeah. Yeah, they are in need of an update. Add mech into Death Guard. Yeah, sadly, the thing about like Eldari and Dark Eldar is they have so many units that it's hard for them to get like to update all the units. Um, like just like last year, Eldar had some new models come out, and but the range is so big that they didn't even get close to refreshing the whole range. Yeah, fire dragons are older than you? Probably. I think they're older than me as well. uh, Luckily, they got a pretty sizable refresh, and they got like the Striking Scorpions got a kill team, so they got updated, which was nice. Yeah, and like warp spiders are super old too. Yeah, the prices from 1990 compared to today. Oof. Sheesh. Bring back those prices. Really? That is very interesting. I I wonder when they decided that Ultramarines would be the face of everything. You've never seen anyone play Warp Spiders? Yeah, I know. And like it's kind of sad because Warp Spiders are really cool, like as a unit, and like their models could be so cool, but they're just so old. uh, there are some really nice like third party um, warp spiders that I've seen people run, um, like warp spiders, fire dragons and stuff, because people are sick of the super old models. For the warp spiders. Yeah, I'm not even really sure what their rules are because, like you haven't really seen them on the tabletop. Um, but I think they just teleport around and like, I think they have high AP, like close range weapons, if I remember correctly. Yeah. There are quite a few models that need an update. Mm-hmm. I do remember that they have some risky movement because they like tunnel through the warp. Um, a flamer with dev wounds. Yeah, like I said, it's a really interesting unit. It's just too bad that the models are just so bad. uh, yeah, kill one squad and then they just explode after that. You know, depending on the squad that they destroy, that wouldn't be such a bad thing. You know, kind of like plasma squads where you do a bunch of damage and then they just blow themselves up. Like, I'm here for that. Like that's awesome. Do you get a codex or a third Skitarii squad? Um, I'm always in favor of more models. Uh, yeah, but that's mostly because of how much I enjoy painting. Uh, so my vote is more models. Yeah, Hell Blasters are scary. Yeah, they are. They even got that rule where they get to shoot when they explode. Like, let's go. uh, mm-hmm. Yeah. You get a squad of Hellblasters and like a Rhino, and just deliver them up close, and then you can't shoot them without getting blasted with plasma. Like, it's a pretty fun unit to just throw around. Why do you let strangers on the internet influence your choices? Because I'm right, and more models is always the answer. uh, oh, you found a good deal on eBay too? Sheesh. I always can't resist the finding a good deal on a unit. I always end up snatching those up. $10 models, $4 shipping. Sheesh. All right, I'm I'm getting towards the end of my stream here. I had a lot of fun today. I hope you all did too. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully I'll see you guys back here again. I'll be streaming tomorrow. Probably be streaming painting the rest of these inner circle companions. Hopefully I can get to some more fun parts, like the plasma on their gauntlet and the non-metallic metal swords. Yeah, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.